I am one with my body. I am guided by its wisdom, protected by its signal, and strengthened by its spirit. My body is not just a vessel, it is a temple of intelligence, communication, and divine design. I honor its voice. I listen to its language. I respond with love. Your body is always trying to talk to you. Think about it. Every ache that you feel, every burst of energy you experience, every craving you have, and every moment of fatigue, it's all a message. And throughout life, we see and we experience and witness people literally just treating their bodies like it's a machine. They do things like push harder, they sleep less, they eat whatever. They ignore the signals, they suppress the symptoms, and they medicate the message. Think about that. When you treat your body like a machine, sometimes you forget to listen to your body. You have to listen to your body when it's whispering to you. Don't brush it off. When it talks, you ignore it. Why? The funny thing is, like, once you get all those signals and you start ignoring all those signals, then when your body starts to scream and it's screaming out in pain, then you be like, oh my God, you start to be fearful and you start to panic. This could have all been avoided if you would have simply just listened to your body. Your body is not your enemy. It's your most loyal translator of truth. Your job as the person navigating this body, you need to learn to understand your body's language. And I ain't talking about gestures. You need to learn your body's language, and I ain't talking about gestures. Hey, I ain't talking about gestures. Or clowns. Anywho, I want us to understand how our body, it communicates through four primary languages. Now, the first primary language of how the body communicates, it's physical sensations. It's basically your body's alarm system. These are things like tightness, headaches, fatigue, tension, stomach knots, heart racing, muscle pain. These are all things that align with our physical sensations when it comes to our body's primary languages. The first primary language. And we have to realize that these things aren't inconveniences. They may be annoying. They may, I don't want to feel this. But these aren't inconveniences. These are signals. These are signals. When your body is feeling these things and it's feeling pain or discomfort somewhere, you need to pause. Search for that sensation that's going around into your body and pay attention to it. Pay attention to it because something is out of alignment. So a lot of times when we eat food, such as dairy, we will typically get gas or we'll get stomach cramps and we'll get stomach aches. But we think that's just a part of what is supposed to happen when you're eating dairy food. No, that's not normal. Your body is not meant to digest that. That's the reason why it's reacting that way. Your body will not react in a negative way when it's eating something that it's meant to eat and that's nourishing, that's going to make it feel good, and that's going to supply it energy. Instead of listening to that sign of getting gas and maybe having diarrhea because we're eating ice cream, we're just so focused on the taste that we don't even care about the discomfort and the pain that our body is going through. These are the signs and signals that I'm talking about. It's not normal to have gas the way you do after you eat a meal. It's not normal. We think it's normal because that's just how we experience throughout our day-to-day lives, but that is not a normal way to live. We've just grown accustomed to this dis-ease. So we need to pay attention to the signs and the sensations that we're feeling in our bodies so we know exactly what we should do to prevent that from happening, okay? So let's move on to the next primary language of our body, which is emotions. It's messages in motion, emotions. And what this means is that emotions, they aren't feelings. They are energy signals that reveals what needs attention. So think about it like this. Think about your emotions. Think about your feelings, your emotions. Anger. What does that mean? That means boundaries were crossed. Then we have anxiety. It's because we fear something that's going to occur in the future. We're fearing something that hasn't happened yet. Think about sadness. It's the loss of release. Think about joy. When you experience joy, that means you're aligned. Frustration. If you're feeling frustration, then that means there must be some type of miscommunication. Think about shame. You're misaligning with your identity. If you don't know who you are, you're going to be shameful. Think about peace. Truth is honored. All these emotions, they are strengths. We all feel them. And we have to understand that emotions, they are not weaknesses at all. They are teachers. Our emotions are our teachers. They are our biggest teachers. So we need to learn from every emotion. Now, the third way that our body likes to communicate is with cravings. It's the body asking for balance. Your cravings is telling you exactly what's happening to you internally. If you're someone out there and you're craving sugar, that means that you're fatigued, you have emotional stress, you have a dopamine drop. Now, if you are craving salt, then that means that you're dehydrated. You have a mineral imbalance. If you're craving junk food, that means you're comfort seeking and you have this level of avoidance. If you're drinking water, that's literally clarity calling you. Think about movement and stagnant energy. And think about rest. This is basically a nervous system overload. So your cravings, they aren't random. They're literally coded messages. So pay attention to it. And now the fourth language that our body speaks is intuition. Intuition. This is the body's inner compass, giving you direction, telling you exactly what's wrong, what's right, and giving you sort of a better understanding of the circumstances that's going on before your brain, your mental brain up here can actually fathom it. And it's real. Having that gut feeling is real. Your intuition is your internal guidance system, and it's communicating through your body. If you have a tight chest, guess what? That means something's off. If you have expansive feelings, oh, that means aligning. You're aligning because you're growing. If you have a stomach drop, that's like, oh, danger. Danger. You stomach drop, danger. Hold on. Think about having goosebumps. Not when it's cold or you chilly, but goosebumps. That means that you realize truth. And if you suddenly have a sense of calm, then that means you made the right decision. You're aligning with the truth. Intuition, it speaks through sensations, not logic. Sometimes you have a feeling that you can't explain. I got a feeling, I got a feeling. I just made that song up. I don't even know if that's a song, but hey, we rocking with it. We need to understand that our body is not separate from our spirit. It's the physical expression of our soul's intelligence. When you treat your body like a temple, then you start honoring your body's needs. Having meaningful movement, having emotional releases, and having deep hydration, conscious consumption, energetic hygiene, loving self-talk. Like when you do this, you're thriving. You're thriving. Your spirit starts to expand. You start to grow. When you treat yourself exactly how you're meant to be treated and talk to yourself the way you're meant to be spoken to, you expand, you grow, you develop, you nourish yourself. Your body is a physical manifestation of self-respect. So how much do you respect yourself? Treat your body like a temple. It's a shrine. This is where you reside. Treat it well. Every single day, treat it well. Nurture it. Be grateful for it. It's the only body that we know of while we're here. Treat yourself with respect. Don't be going through all this unnecessary pain. You don't have to go through it. When we don't treat ourselves right and we ignore those signals that our body is giving us, then it starts speaking so much louder. That fatigue that you have is going to lead to burnout. That irritation that you are dealing with is going to lead to emotional overload. You're getting headaches, that means you're stressed out. That means you're dehydrated. How are you treating yourself? If you're starting to have gut issues, that means you ignored your intuition. If you start to have tight shoulders, that means you're carrying burdens that aren't yours. That means you're carrying responsibilities that aren't yours. If you're someone who suffers from insomnia, that means you have unresolved energy. If you have low motivation, then that means you have unmet emotional needs. These are all signals. Your body will whisper. Your body will tell you, it will poke you a little bit like, hey man, I ain't feeling too good. It's gonna whisper. It's gonna be like, hey man, I ain't feeling too good. Them whispers is gonna turn to screams like, hey guys, hey, I'm gonna need you to help me out right now. I need some help. I got pain everywhere right now. Forgive me. But your body's gonna whisper until it screams, okay? We need to practice to learn our body's language. Listen to your body's language. Listen to it when it speaks. So we need to make sure that we do body scans. Sit still and we'll mentally scan Those images that pop up in your mind will mentally scan our bodies, and we'll scan our bodies from head to toe. And I want you to ask yourself, what is my body telling me? From head to toe, what is my body telling me? No judgment, no judging, no judgment. You're just listening for the signs and signals. We need to make sure that we have an energy check-in. So I want you to ask yourself right now these 3 questions. What feels heavy? What feels light? What feels tight? Now, heavy means release. Light means move toward it. Tight means pause and reflect. This is your energy check-in. We need to make sure that we're using movement as medicine, okay? And the reason why I'm saying this is because your body, it holds on to emotions until you move them out. You can dance, you can stretch, you can run, you can jog, you can walk, lift weights. These are all emotional detoxes. When you move the body, you heal the mind. After we use our movement as medicine, we need to make sure that we're hydrating with intention. When you're drinking water, I want you to say to yourself, I am cleansing my energy and I am nourishing my temple. And what this does is it elevates your hydration to a spiritual level. So you're taking care of your physical body and you're bringing energy from a spiritual level. The next thing we should move on to is a hunger truth test. And this is what I want you to do. Before you start eating, I want you to ask yourself, is this physical hunger or emotional hunger? Because a lot of times we start grabbing food simply because it's an emotional thing that we're going through, whether it's excitement, whether it's sadness, whether it's out of habit of watching TV. If it's an emotional thing that you're feeling, I want you to breathe. I want you to journal. I want you to move. Get out the way. Get out the way. If it's physical, I want you to eat to nourish your body, not numb yourself, okay? That's important to remember. So we should get a journal and start journaling these things, okay? Because what shows up in your body, it shows up for a reason. You need to track those recurring patterns. So where does the pain appear? When does fatigue set in? And what kind of foods are causing you inflammation? Be very aware of this and start writing it down. Your body is going to reveal the lifestyle you're living.